Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a really quick video. We're going to just do a little Q&A. I've gotten a lot of questions on my first and my most recent electrolysis video, and I just wanted to clear up some answers for you guys as best as I can anyway. Does hair color matter? No. Hair color does not matter with electrolysis. They target each hair individually. Hair color only matters if you're using an IPL laser, which would be like if you have an at-home laser or some laser hair removal, maybe all laser hair removal. I don't know. But definitely an IPL laser targets the melanin in the hair, in which case you would want darker hair and lighter skin. So a lot of those at-home IPL lasers that you can use, those you're going to need to have dark hair, light skin. You can't have blonde hair, red hair, and your skin tone pretty much can't be any darker than me. Even I'm skeptical of using those because I don't want to burn up my skin because, again, the laser targets the darker pigmentation of the hair. So if it's targeting dark and your skin is dark, it's going to burn your skin. So yeah, electrolysis doesn't do that. The tiny little probe goes in each individual follicle and they burn each follicle specifically. So it has nothing to do with your skin tone at all. What does the pain feel like? So someone asked me to compare it. I would say the level of pain is equivalent or close to the level of pain of a tattoo, but it does not feel like a tattoo. I don't know. She asked if it feels like a bee sting, and I've never been stung by a bee, knock on wood. So I have no idea if it feels like a bee sting. I would assume that it might be close, but I can't say for sure yes or no. So if you've had electrolysis done and you've also been stung by a bee, leave a comment to let us know if those are similar feelings. Someone else said it feels like rubber band pops, which I think is a good kind of comparison. So think if you took a rubber band on your wrist and you were just popping it and it gets a little bit more intense every time. That's a close comparison. The rubber band has a little bit more of a sting and the probe has a little bit more of like a jolt, but it's I would say that's a close comparison. Do you feel the needle? Not really. Yes, but no. It's so thin and so tiny that you really don't feel it. The main thing that you feel is the heat. So when they insert the probe, it really doesn't do much unless they have to insert it deeper, which they only insert it as deep as where your hair follicle is. So honestly, no. You really, truly don't feel it. At least I don't. But you do feel the heat while it's in your skin, but you don't feel the needle itself. Can you use a hair inhibitor such as, is it Vaniqua? I don't know what it's called. I did ask my electrologist about this yesterday. I just had an appointment yesterday. And he said he doesn't see why not. Anything that will damage the follicle seems okay to him. I would just say it would depend on how that hair inhibitor worked. So after a quick Google search, Vanica actually doesn't target the follicle at all. It targets the enzyme that allows hair to grow and it slows it down. So it'll only slow hair growth and not remove any hair, and it will slow down the process of your electrolysis journey. This question's a little bit complicated. I do have a hair growth inhibitor. It's called Don't Grow There. I ordered it on Amazon. I'm going to be honest, I haven't really used it, but I might start since my electrologist said he doesn't see anything wrong with it. Will the hair grow back? Yes and no. So once the follicle is completely damaged, that hair will not grow back. However, if you damage the follicle only slightly, the follicle will repair itself and the hair will continue to grow. So when you're getting your treatments, you're going to notice that there's going to be some hairs that just disappear. They just don't show up again. But there's going to be some that grow back, and they typically grow back a little bit thinner after about 10 days, which is much longer compared to, like, if I were to shave, I would see it within a couple, like 2 days. But with electrolysis, I typically, if I do have regrowth, I don't see it for about 10 days at least, sometimes longer. And then you want to catch it, because as soon as that hair starts growing back while the follicle is still weak, you want to zap it again so that you can continue to add more damage to the follicle. Don't be like me, how I was previously, and wait for the hair to get strong all over again before you go back and get another treatment, because you're doing absolutely nothing. To be fair, if your hair growth, it's not really an if for most women that have male pattern hair growth. It is obviously hormonal, and hormonal hair is quite stubborn. So even though one hair might not ever grow back, that does not mean that there is zero chance of a new hair growing right next to it where that hair used to be. So even if you permanently remove your hair, it's not going to stop new hairs from showing up, if that makes sense. The hair that's been damaged and done and is permanently removed is permanently removed, but it won't stop new hair from growing in a similar area, which sucks. The best I can say is just be really consistent with your appointments. As soon as you see hair growth, go get it treated again. That way you can continuously damage the follicle. Do the scars fade? So in a lot of the pictures and videos that I've shown of my neck, I do have lots of scarring and hyperpigmentation. Those hyperpigmentation scars are from ingrown hairs. So these darker scars were there far before I ever even started electrolysis. Now, these lighter ones I'm going to show you from my last session. Those are from the scabbing. I had a lot more scabbing on this side because he went a little bit more intense because I was tolerating the pain. I had a lot more scabbing on this side, and when the scabs came off, I was left with this very light pink, fleshy skin tone underneath it, which is common for, a scab, and they should heal. I will keep you guys updated on that. To be honest, I already have so much dark scarring that I don't really care about those little pink dots right now. It's still healing. So I'm not even concerned with it. Right now, my main concern is the hair. After that, I'll deal with my skin later. Can I use an at-home IPL laser? So yes, you can. It will help weaken the follicle. But like I stated earlier, you do have some rules with IPL lasers. You should have a lighter skin tone and darker hair. And you have to be consistent. I did have one person state that their hair grew in thicker. And that is because if you damage the follicle, but you don't damage it completely, your follicle is going to repair itself and it's going to be stronger. So the hair is going to grow back thicker. It's going to be harder to pull out. It's just overall going to be harder to get rid of if you've only partially damaged it and then allowed it to grow back. So if you are going to use an at-home IPL laser, you need to keep the same consistency that you would do with electrolysis or anything else. It is not considered permanent. So even if you're not seeing hair growth or you're seeing very minimal hair growth, it's something that once you start, you should continue to do it, because if you allow the follicle to repair itself and rebuild itself and get strong, it's going to be 10 times harder to get rid of that hair later on. How often should I get treated? That's going to depend on your growth pattern. I would say weekly. Weekly's been working well for me. So I've been alternating on a weekly schedule. And that's worked well for me so far. The hairs that did grow back over here were minimal, and they were thinner. So hopefully after this second treatment on this side, they should be good. But I would say go weekly. Or if you're really, really new and this is like your first session, I would see Like, let your electrologist know, or ask them how quickly you can get an appointment with them once you see hair growth. Because if you do make an appointment for the following week and there's still no hair there, you're wasting your time. But if you see hair growth and then you try to make an appointment and they're not available for another few days, that increment of time is crucial. As soon as you see hair growth, you want to go zap it again while it's still in a very weak state. You don't want to give it, you want to try your best not to give it time to continue to heal if you're seeing hair grow back. You want to destroy it. So I would just time it, see how long it takes for hair to grow back for you, and then from there make consistent appointments around that time frame. So if it takes you a week, do weekly appointments. If it takes you about 10 days, schedule an appointment for every 10 days. If it takes 2 weeks, do it every 2 weeks. But yeah, that is the end of this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.